360-degree leader. Written by John C. Maxwell. Please note, this audiobook is provided without charging a dime. Happy listening. Part 3. The Principles 360-degree leaders practice to lead up. In order to develop the ability to be a 360-degree leader, people must learn to lead up with their leader, lead across with colleagues, and lead down with followers. Each of these skills draws on different principles. Leading up is the process of influencing a leader. The principles of leading up greatly increase the chance for success. Success in this case would mean leaders above will learn to trust and rely on subordinates in addition to seeking advice from them. Lead up principle number 1. Lead yourself. That's where it all starts. Besides, if you wouldn't follow yourself, why should anyone else? People who begin by leading themselves are practicing self-management. This practice emphasizes focus, discipline, and purpose. Leaders are impressed by people who manage themselves, maximize opportunities, and leverage personal strengths. Self-management requires managing emotions by controlling them and knowing when to display certain ones. Leaders must also be able to manage their time. Time is valuable, but until managers believe their own time is of value, they will not do anything constructive with it. Along with proper time management is priority management. Beyond that, good leaders in the middle manage their energy levels, their ways of thinking, their work, and their personal lives. In the process of leading up, leaders must understand that if they cannot lead themselves, others will not follow, respect, or partner with them. Lead up principle 2. If you help lift the load, then you help your leader succeed. In other words, if the boss succeeds, so does the organization. Those who can successfully lift the load from their leaders demonstrate their commitment to the team. Leaders who lift others up are noticed. The result is that others will want to help in return. This reciprocity increases leaders' value and influence, improving overall productivity. There are several ways leaders can help to lift the load of their bosses. They can start by doing their own job well. When they find a problem or challenge, they provide a solution. Then it's essential that leaders hear the truth and be open to bad news. People should stand up for their leaders and stand in for their leaders when appropriate. Finally, by simply asking leaders how they can lift the load, people will develop an open, positive, and connected dialogue. Lead up principle number 3. Successful 360-degree leaders can do what others don't want to do by stepping out of their comfort zones. These leaders work in obscurity and keep their egos at bay. Leaders can also help others by finding ways to succeed with difficult people, who are present in every organization. While being the first to take on the tough jobs, 360-degree leaders sometimes must put themselves, but not the organization, on the line, admit faults, do more than is expected, and perform tasks that may not be part of their job description. Lead up principle number 4. There is a distinct difference between managers and leaders. Managers work with processes while leaders work with people. Both are essential for running a successful operation. Leaders lead the people who manage the process. Unlike many managers, leaders think in the long term. By necessity, managers often must operate in the moment. Thinking long term requires leaders to see how events will impact those above, below, and around them. Taking organizations into the future requires leaders to push boundaries, find better ways of doing things, and encouraging progress and innovation. Leaders also must learn to use their intuition when working with such intangibles as morale, motivation, emotions, and attitudes. Lead up principle number 5. Part of working successfully with these inevitable intangibles is the establishment of good relationships, no matter whether people are leading up, across, or down the organization. Leaders must be able to connect with everyone around them. One way to encourage strong connections is to listen to people to find out what is important to them. Armed with this information, people and leaders can identify priorities, vision, interests, and personality. Once these aspects are understood, leaders can better support their vision, share their enthusiasm, earn their trust, and lead up. Lead up principle number 6. All leaders value time. This principle suggests that people must be prepared when taking any of a leader's time. Maxwell asserts that the best way to do this is to spend 10 minutes preparing for every minute meeting with a leader. Respecting leaders' time will encourage a relational connection that can open doors to new opportunities. Good thinking will also enable people to bring something to the table. These people may bring resources, ideas, or opportunities, and contribute to the conversation in a positive manner. There are other ways to be prepared when taking time from the leader. Be prepared when asked to speak. Learn to speak the boss's language, get to the bottom line, and provide return on the leader's investment. Where people add value to each other, they are practicing 360-degree leadership. Lead up principle number 7. Timing is essential to good leadership. A good idea presented at the wrong time can be perceived as a bad idea. Therefore, it's essential that leaders understand when time is running out, when to hold back, and when to push ahead. Assessing whether their responsibilities are at risk and figuring out how to help the boss win can bring clarity to an often ambiguous predicament. Learning to back off is appropriate in many situations, perhaps after a point has been made, or when the timing is off. Lead up principle number 8. Becoming a team member who gets things done and demonstrates competency, responsibility, and reliability becomes the one people will turn to when things need to happen. Leaders are continually looking for people who will step up and take on the next challenge when it matters. These players produce under pressure when the momentum is low, when the load is heavy, and when the leader is absent. And they deliver results under limited time frames when resources are few. Basically, no matter how tough a situation is, these team players excel. Lead up principle number 9. Many people do not realize that they're on an ongoing journey requiring growth and improvement each day. Leaders need to keep learning to better themselves at all times. When people cease to learn and grow, they are damaging their leadership ability. When they recognize that learning and growth is a constant, they will enhance their potential to move forward. No matter how much it costs you to keep growing and learning, the cost of doing nothing is greater, says Maxwell. The cost of doing nothing is greater.